Hey guys, Nathan Brendan Masters. As you know, this is my Canson Art Book 1, and this is my last sketchbook tour of 2022. And this sketchbook has 98 pages, so it's gonna be a long one. So grab you some popcorn and enjoy. Real quick, you guys know I am still trying to get my first 100 subscribers. So if you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, so that it will get promoted in the YouTube algorithm. As many of you know, this is one of my abandoned sketchbooks. This was my travel sketchbook, and it's my 2020 travel sketchbook, so that should tell you everything you need to know. I started in 2019 and was hoping to finish it up in 2020 along with my moleskin, which was also abandoned. Aside from travel restrictions, a lot of things were just coming at me, and I was working on projects and things, and I just kind of left the sketching behind. But I did plan to come back to it because I bought more sketchbooks. You can see where I scraped the 2020 off there and put 2022. And it is indeed finished. And I might as well tell you up front, the first part of it, not that great. I'm going to go through all of it, but there are links in the description, click through links to some of the more standout stuff. So let's get into it. Like I said, I started this back in 2019 and I was still working on my manga style. It was a fusion style, so I was trying to figure out how I wanted that style to look and how Japanese did I want it to look, how American did I want it to look, and just kind of playing around with the ink brush and stuff like that. That's what these pages were. Actually, this page was done with an ink brush in watercolor. But this one was done with a Sharpie, and this was done with a Sharpie too. So I was working with Sharpie for these first few pages, and I'm sure that cross hatching was done with a dip pen. Those lines are way too crisp to be a liner. I do have maybe one or two liners that could get a crisp line like that, but I didn't have them back then, so that's definitely dip pen. The next few pages are doodles. I mean, even that was a doodle. These are just random things I was doing with Sharpie, like I do now with an ink brush. I was just going in and drawing, no pencil lines, just straight ink. That's how you get pictures like that. This was kind of nice, I guess, but also a doodle, nothing specific. I was just going in and drawing something to draw it. There's Victor Locke in a weird plaid shirt for some reason. I just see he's on a form, but there's some texture up there. I was testing out with the dip pen, trying to get that kind of stuff together. So I wasn't just doing anything. I was trying to get some techniques and things down, so that's good. Here's some Rise of Magic members, just doing some random spell casting. These aren't like main members or anything. These are like mystics for hire type guys. These are you throw them some money, they cast some spells. This was a guy. I did a power armor. It was my ideal of power armor. It's trash. It looks like a bad rendition of RoboCop. Over there on the right, I drew a pretty nice head and and some eyes. I guess I said, okay, I drew a head and some eyes, and I guess I just gave up. So there's Damious over there. I don't know why he has inverted pupils though. Maybe I was just like, hey, let me try something new. But Damious is not a vampire. On the right over there is what I wanted my manga style to look like, my so-called manga style. So I still want to perfect it. It was actually done with a Sharpie fine liner. And these are done in Sharpie as well. This looks like it started out as Victor Locke, and then I put some hair on them for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. That's Eunice down there at the bottom, one of the administrators for the Rise of Magic. So you guys have seen a lot of him. This is a page I just did that was done in Sharpie, and I want to kind of do something on the back of those pages. So sometimes I would just take black ink and make the page black and then draw on it. This is Ace Attorney. I was listening to Nick Ricada. He's a lawyer here on YouTube, and he would live stream Ace Attorney. And it was really funny because he would do all the voices and everything. And so I drew Ace Attorney. So that tells you around the time I actually drew this. I did that with a dip pen too. This is Ichiro. This is Ayami's half brother from Wellness Check. He doesn't have any superpowers or anything. He's just a really good martial artist. Okay, I'm looking at this. I did this with a water brush, not an ink brush. I did this with a water brush that had ink wash in it because the lines are not completely black. If you look at them, they're kind of grayish. This is just me playing around, freehanding some buildings, so nothing to see there. Nothing to see really here. This is just a quick sketch. I just did two dudes walking. This is just one of the variations of Ash. It's just playing around with Ash. These are heads. I was just doing some style variations. I guess you could call this Japanese manga, but it's really not. This is more like the style that I'm going for. More of that mix. This is actually glued on from another. I think I actually just did this on a piece of Bristol board and glued it in there. Yeah, that's definitely Bristol board. This is Katelyn. She's got a thing for Ichiro, but she's not the nicest girl in the world. She's kind of a fur the streets kind of girl, if you will. This is Nightevil's sister, Akasha, from Epitaph Bread and Salt. I did this in ink and coloring pencils, actually. I was playing around coloring pencils, and this actually turned out really nice. So I like that. And in fact, I want to start using coloring pencils more. I have like a whole set of them. This is Nightevil, and I messed this up. I don't know how I messed this up. Like I drew this in pencil, and when I started inking it, I was inking with a brush, and I don't know how, but I messed that up. So the girl on the right is Ayami. That's Ichiro's half sister. She is black and Japanese. Now, she doesn't like Katelyn, but it's not like an Ashen and Rick kind of thing from Epitaph. She has legitimate reasons for not liking Katelyn. Very loose drawing of Casper from Wellness Check. And these are not particularly Wellness Check characters, but this is kind of like a style template, I guess, kind of like the style I was trying to do at the time. This is a cover thumbnail, but it's a kind of boring cover, so it doesn't really say anything, doesn't have any action happening. It's nothing. So these are thumbnails for something that's never going to be. Sometimes I just come up with a scene and I do some thumbnails for it. It's probably not going to be in anything, but I just do some thumbnails. And here's some very loose heads right here. You got a random superhero girl. You got the guy from earlier on in the trash power armor. So you've got that going. Some more head doodles. Now here I was trying to do some background work, do some cityscape stuff, and do some cars and things like that. And this was done with a water brush with gray ink in it, because this is not that's not black ink. That is definitely grayscale or dark gray ink in my water brush. So this one, it's got ink wash in it, so I don't have to mix it. There's Loren from Epitaph Bread and Salt, of course, and Ashely, Ash's sister from Wellness Check. She's like a man in black. She works for the government, and she investigates stuff. She's kind of like Fox Mulder from the X-Files. She investigates stuff and kind of decides whether to cover it up or, release some of it to the news. We have a black page I didn't do anything with. You guys know Eunice, Victor, Dracula. It's a very loose drawing of Agent Singh, who also investigates supernatural stuff for the FBI, except he is in the Epitaph Victor Locke books. Don't know who this is. And this is a cartoony version of Loren Talbane's sister, Loren Talbane. The three Talbane children are Landon, Laura, and Loren. So I did this with an ink brush and some liners. This is a thumbnail, but she's a vampire, and the guy behind her is her day worker. They're nobody particularly special. It was just a thing I did. Again, it's just another thumbnail that I did. You know, this could be Patricia and Montague, although Patricia would never dress like, she'd never dress down like that. So we're going to skip that page because that was nothing. Um, Frankenstein that I could get sued for. So this was one of my renditions of Frankenstein, but you got to take those bolts out of the neck. I think I can do the like the head stitches across the head. Some of those things are trademark of Universal Studios. This is a nurse from the Sisterhood of Lilith Nursery. She's from the Breeder Nursery. So, you know, when the baby Nephilims are born, she takes care of them until they wow out or something. This is trash. We're gonna ignore that. This looks like the back of like the impression of me drawing something, and this is the back of it. But this is actually me drawing this in a dry brush. It doesn't look that great, but it was just something I tried. This is kind of an updated rendition of a character called Psychobitch, which she was a character created in the 90s, early 2000s, when that kind of naming convention was not only acceptable but somewhat smiled upon. Don't know if I could get away with that now. But she's kind of like the Hulk. She has anger issues, and the angrier she gets, the stronger she gets. She goes into, I guess if this were Marvel, we would call it a berserker rage. And if people are fighting her and hitting her and stuff, she doesn't feel any of that until, you know, later on after the fight's all over. This is a very loose drawing of Hanover. You guys probably know her from Epitaph Bread and Salt. She's probably standing around waiting for Fixmaster to give her some Psycho Blast. I think I did this. I know I did this with ink brush and I think liners. I don't think this is dip pen. It doesn't feel like dip pen. A lot of times dip pen ink will have some kind of feeling to it. These are some random minion. You know, these are like people who get beat up in action films. You know, these are people who hang out with the Joker and the main villain to get beat up by whoever's beating up the bad guys. Usually Batman. I do like that texture on the shirt. This is a mercenary group from Wellness Check. They don't have a name yet. I doodled this with a ballpoint pen. You have a vampire, a ninja, and the guy with the bad power armor. You have a very basic Force Blast guy back there. So you need some problem solved. You want to call those guys. And okay, now this is where the new art starts, because this is a very new concept with Victor Locke, because this is where he takes, there's a particular demon that he dispatches, and the demon has like a lot of gold and silver. This is kind of inspired. Have you ever seen those commercials for that video game, Ivory? It's kind of inspired by that. A lot of these demonic beings and stuff, they'll have like gold and silver laying around. It's not typically a large amount, but this particular one had like a large amount of it. And so he takes it, which will fund his operation and frankly his lifestyle for a good long time. So I just sketched this up real quick. I think I did this with Artline, you know, those Artline liners. This looks like Artline. Now, the thing about this is, demon gold is usually cursed. He has to take the curse off of it. And it turns out that there are other beings, other demonic beings that know that this gold is there and it's part of their gold. So, it's kind of like a stockpile. So as you can see in this, you see the dark-eyed children. They're kind of like following him. So there's a scene. This is a scene that's supposed to lead to him in this fight with the dark-eyed children. Got these two again, Hanover and Fixmaster. Fixmaster is an alchemist that sells street pharma to supernatural people. This is just a picture on Pinterest. A woman getting ice out of a machine, and she's all the way in there, I guess. And the woman on the right, I think she's modeling something. I think she's modeling those clothes. That's not like like an Instagram selfie. She was modeling that. So I grabbed those both from Pinterest. And I said I'll start drawing Pinterest people. I see other artists do that. This is Victor and Loren. He's at the bar, his trench coat and his hoodie on, and Loren is standing right behind him. He's supposed to be looking for Loren. This is Hanover and Fixmaster, and this is a thumbnail that actually became a page in the book. In fact, both of these became a page in the book. This was from a Zombie Girl book that I'm working on, and Zombie Girl knows Fixmaster too, so that's why I threw him in there. So Hanover will probably encounter Zombie Girl, and she'll probably encounter Victor Locke, but that'll probably be in a different book. That'll probably be in a Victor Locke book. Like imagine like Hanover touching Zombie Girl and seeing her mind, and it's like, what the hell is this? Like, wait, you died and came back? This is Damious in the manga version of, well, not the manga. Well, I guess this is the guy with the long hair that's based on the manga version of Montague. I think I was testing out dip. I think I got the Hunt 102 nib, and I was testing it out on these pages, like kind of doodling. So I was doing some character heads here. A Dracula, Bathory, Random Eyeball, Ashen Yu, and Rick Yu. That's Ashen's brother, who she has a thing for because she's sick in the head. That's Rahaab in the client, if you will. Again, a poorly sketched version of it. There was a part of me that just wanted to finish this book, and then there were times when I was just truly inspired. Case in point, here's a nice picture of your boy, Nosferatu. Check him out. He is a member of the Knights of Liz Bathory, so start drawing him. This is somebody's day worker who's just waiting for them to rise from the dead that night, or maybe they were sent out to wait for another vampire who's just been brought over. So he's just out there waiting around in a graveyard with a pickup truck, waiting for a vampire to jump out. You know, your life went in a questionable direction when you get that job. I don't know what this is. Okay, I know it's kind of like a city, and then I like that ink texture. I like that. That's nice. City background, you know, but I like that page. Brooke from Wellness Check, that's Ash's boss, and there's Ashely, it's Ash's sister, with a weird power that she does not have in any way, shape, form in the comic books because she doesn't have any superpowers. These lines are so bad. It's me trying to freehand a straight line. That's why this is a sketchbook. The art is sketchy. These are some of the mob guys that mess with Fixmaster, and they know he deals to supernatural creatures, and they want to cut. This is a ninja. Actually, a face that I messed up. Okay, now, I love this. This is the truest idea of my style that I want to rock this style right here. You're going to see this a lot in like my new stuff. More of this, less of the kind of Marvel DC Image kind of style. You're going to see that, and styles like this, and the girl on the right over there, her, you're going to see more of that kind of style. These two ladies are exactly what I'm talking about. It's the style I want to perfect. I like both of these, and I love this picture. This is your girl Medusa, and these are the guys around her that she's turned to stone. Not in any way that they would like. Over here you have Nightevil in her fully human form. She's just coming out of her room. She's dressed in her robe. Her and Damious probably just got through doing their thing. I don't like the way I did the shadows on this. I don't think I originally intended to do anything with alcohol marker on this. So I just drew this because I thought it looked good. I think I saw something like this in a few people's sketchbooks. So I was like, yeah, let me try that. I used my brush pen for this. This is the one I mainly use for if I need to do do a lot of coverage, like a large black area, or if I want to do dry brushing, I'll use it, on the side and do a dry brush effect. It's a guy with a crazy smile on his face. That's it. There's Serpina in her human form, and she's got the black eyes here, but she can make her eyes look normal. She does that to scare people. I did a little bit of watercolor with this. The blue is that blue is watercolor. We talked about her last time, actually. This is just me doing some blending with alcohol markers, and I didn't have brush markers here. This is just I was using fine color alcohol markers, and I went ahead and bought some Blick. Funny story about this: I traded in my Rendar journals to get those Blick markers. But yeah, this is, and I still didn't have a colorless blender at this point. So yeah. This is another image I kind of like. Same kind of style, even though it's a little bit looser. This is something I saw on Pinterest, and I wanted to try to do that pose, but in this style. You know, it's got with the gun and the smoke coming, and that's very like a very dramatic style. I want to put that in a book. I like that. That's badass right there. This is Xinecta. This is Hanover's girlfriend. I get her mixed up with Brooke sometimes because they both have the short hair, but Brooke's hair is actually longer and blonde. Xinecta's hair is shorter, more of a boy cut, and it should be dark actually. But the one time she did pop up in Epitaph Bread and Salt, her hair was blonde and long. So there lies the confusion. And Xinecta looks tough. You know, she looks like she can go a few rounds, and she's got the, you know how like Iron Fist has the, you know, it's got the Iron Fist. She's both of her fists are like that. Like she can channel energy to her fist, make her fist extremely hard. She whoop that ass. She's a mess around and find out type. So don't step. I like this, both of these pages. I like her, and I like over here where it's kind of a mix of that style with the manga style, and I got it right. And I use coloring pencils. Again, not the anything that's like coloring stuff. I'm not like the best at it. This is Hanover again. I've been drawing a lot of Hanover in this book. I like the look of this image, just like the basic overall look of that image. And I started using the fine color markers a little bit more. There's purple in the back. That's fine color marker. This is Loren, and she's doing a power up, but she doesn't know she's doing a power up because she doesn't know she's a magic adept because she doesn't believe in magic. Now, I was trying my hand at some cars here. I was doing these in pen. I was doing these in ink, so I wasn't able to erase anything, but I've never been good at drawing cars. So I'm just trying to sketch these out. And got the factory back there. I didn't put any real effort into the factory. I was really trying to get the car going. This is Eddie Yamada. He's a local thug. He's involved in a lot of things. He might pop up in New Epitaph comics, or he might pop up in Wellness Check. So might pop up in both. You never know. Eddie gets around. Again, just throwing some alcohol marker in there to get that nice background. This is just a woman I drew, and I like it. And speaking of women, this is Kuchisake-onna, the slit mouth woman. She is from Japanese folklore, and she prowls the streets and asks people, do they find her pretty? And if you want to live, the answer is always yes. Yes, I do. She'll be popping up in Victor Locke Demon Hunter at some point. I really like this drawing of her, so you definitely want to keep an eye out for her. This is Damious and Patrick Hattrick. Patrick is a student of psychology, and he's also a stage magician, and he would debunk people who claim they had mystical powers. One day he ended up being attacked by a succubus in his sleep, and he learned about Damious and went to him to be freed of the succubus's power. After everything that happened, he returned to Damious to learn magic from him, and Damious reluctantly took him on as his student. The reason Damious could free him so easily is because Damious uses succubi magic. Okay, so I have a charcoal pencil. I have a few of them actually. I don't remember where I got them from, but I had one, and I said, let me do something with this. I haven't done anything with this, and it's one of these. I don't know where these came from. But I had one that was sharpened, and this is what I did with it. This I don't like. I did this backward. All right, guys. Ignore this. I drew this. I thought it looked cool. It doesn't look cool. It's Jay Cappelli. He's a low-end fixer for the mob. He doesn't like Fixmaster, and that's really all he wants you to know about him. So we're going to move on. This is nothing special. I just went in with a brush, started drawing headshots, and I actually like this as a concept piece. I might redo it maybe as an actual cover. On the right over here, you have the bloody hand. Ooh. Here you have a barbarian type versus a sorceress. So that's a little different than what I normally draw. Over on the right, you have a guy looking on in horror. And in the Night Phoenix Press universe, anything could be happening to cause that expression. Keep your eyes open and your mouth closed. Over here, I was just playing around with the purple alcohol marker. I had a purple alcohol marker and I just started drawing stuff. Alcohol marker and brush pen. Your boy Carlo Castellini, aka Fixmaster. Again, just playing around with alcohol markers, brush pen. And speaking of Fixmaster, this is a rather nice picture of Hanover and Fixmaster. So, nice. I like that. Messed up on his face though. That would have been a really cool picture. Trying to get this finished, but I wish I had a slowed down Emo Montague and a really nice picture of Ashely. And you guys, of course, remember Amara from the Sisterhood of Lilith. I don't know why I drew her in that worn down, like abandoned looking building. I don't know why I drew her there, but there she is. And you remember I drew this one on, or not on stream, but you guys, I did a video about this one, so you saw that. This is another Frankenstein that would get me sued, or possibly get me sued if I were to use it, especially with the electric lab back there. That's a nod to the old Frankenstein movies, which I might keep in there. So I do like that hairstyle though. That came from my manga version of Frankenstein, and I brought that over to the regular version. Fixmaster and one of his lab assistants, and of course you have Brooke over there on the right. When you see her like this is her without her extensions. If you go back to some of my older sketchbooks, she had long curly hair. Well, this is what she looks like without the long curly hair. So she's got multiple looks anyway because she kind of disguises herself sometime. So we're in the home stretch, a few more pages to go. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I like this picture of Hanover. I don't usually draw her like this with the glasses on and everything. Did both of these pages in brush pen, went right in. Of course, you guys know Eunice over there on the right. It's him casting some kind of evil spell. Now, this is, of course, Victor Locke, and I wanted to try to do a kind of a complex, a little bit complicated pose with, just doing it with the brush. And you see I started over there on the left and messed it up, but I kind of got it on the right over here, and did a little watercolor back there, and played around with it. Now there we go. This is Victor right here. Now that's a nice Victor Locke Demon Hunter shot right there, boy. This is ink brush and watercolor, and this is a little wash watercolor. This is Ash's dad from Wellness Check. You only see him in flashbacks, really, before his mysterious death. And you got a guy here running from a rat demon. Those damn rat demons, boy, I tell you. Look at that guy. Doesn't even look like he's chasing them. Look at that. This is just a random demon. He's on Earth and he's looking to start some trouble. If he's in Chicago, it's a chance he'll run up on Victor Locke and be sent back to where he came from. This, of course, is Dracula. This is Damious. And they've been advertising those bearskin coats, whatever the bearskin jackets they've been advertising. So that's Damious dressed in one of those, and he's got on his shades and everything. So he's nice and warm in this cold weather that we're having here. This is just an ugly drawing. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Sisterhood of Lilith member doing some kind of power up. And for some reason, I thought I'd make that green with some watercolor. I'm sure it's watercolor. No, that's not. That's alcohol marker. What the heck was that? Oh, yeah. I was playing around with alcohol marker. For some reason, I just had green and purple and orange or brown. I was playing around with that. This is watercolor. I tried to do a fire pit like in my other book. And I messed it up because I actually used some ink and I used too much ink. It messed it up. This is another dry brush drawing. And over on the right, you have Serpina in her full demonic form as a succubi djinn. And if you give her your soul, this is what you'll meet on the day that you die as she goes to take you to a very, very bad place. That other picture is what she looks like normally when she just kind of wants to scare you. She'll do the eyes, the black eyes. Stay away from her. And this is kind of a cool manga rendition of Ashen. And I recognize manga means comics in Japanese. It's just when I say manga, it's just kind of shorthand for saying, Japanese comics, the way the Japanese comics look, or this, it's kind of in the style of the Japanese comics. And I make that distinction because when Japanese people say manga, they just mean comic books. But when we say manga, we specifically mean Japanese comic books. I'm just throwing it out there in case anybody has an issue with me saying manga when I'm specifically talking about a character or something that's styled this way as opposed to what I normally do. This is Jace Hauser. He's a runner in the Wellness Check series. Uh, Not much to say about this guy. He's a normie. I don't like the way I don't like the way I did his beard. I'm gonna fix that. That just seemed kind of lopsided. So I'm gonna go in and do a little something here. But yeah, this guy's a runner. He's kind of like the transporter. I thought I had that beard kind of shaped up, but it just looked, it looked bad. Didn't look good. Uh, but there's there's an energy field coming out. Remember that ring of trees, the dead trees? Well, that's where that energy is coming from. But those green trees are covering. From the outside, you don't see the dead trees because the green trees are covering them. Over there, there's a slit mouth woman again. She says, "Am I pretty?" That's her thing. This is Rahaab, one of the Sisterhood of Lilith breeders. She's kind of dolled up, and she's waiting for her next lover. And she's kind of tired out, and she just kind of wants to go home. There's a little bar back there. I really like that picture, though. So you have Dracula, Lady Bathory, and one of the sisters, and they are strolling a cemetery at night. I like the way this turned out. This black right there. I like the way that turned out. This is a 2-page spread like the cool kids do. This is Ashen, and she's in one of the Sisterhood of Lilith, in one of the mystical locations where there's like a lot of power and stuff, and she's just kind of there to do something shady because it's Ashen. This is a guy wrapped up in a bunch of belts with some kind of power. Who is he? We don't know. I do like this blue Fixmaster image right here. I like that image. And this is a Victor Locke image. I don't really like that image because his head is too far in the coat. This is something I saw on Pinterest. It's a woman standing with a gun kind of behind her back, and you see there was a mirror there. You saw a guy's face, but I didn't really like it. I liked the image, the original image, but I didn't like this image I was drawing. There's a mirror right there, and you saw the guy walking in, and I thought it was a really cool image, and I tried to kind of reconstruct it in my style, and I really should have used like an actual pen or something. Okay, now these guys are Rise of Magic members. Now they're not like the core people, but they send people like this out to do things, to get things done, cast spells and stuff on their behalf. It's a big organization, and it's not just the main people. There's your girl Serpina. She's just walking out, and there's that forest again with the dead trees. Don't go there. Any of these people can be there. Stay away. Xinecta in a graveyard, but Xinecta doesn't really do a lot of magic or anything. She has her powers, and they are what they are. She doesn't do like a lot of spell casting or any of that stuff. That's Hanover and the Sisterhood, Nightevil, all those people. But she doesn't really mess around with that. She's a brawler. This is just me messing around with some creepy scenery. I like to do stuff like this, like when I do books like Demon Noir and stuff. I like to do things like this, and have backgrounds and stuff like that. It makes the book look really nice. So you have like Victor Locke Demon Hunter trekking through something like that. It looks really cool, and I like the textures in there. So, and this is kind of another variation of Ash, and I like this variation. He's got his arm broke somehow, and he's in the hospital with the sling on his arm. He might not be in the hospital, but he's got the sling on his arm. I try to do something cool here. You know how they do those covers where you have the shattered pieces and something's happening in each one? I tried to do that, and then I got to the middle one, and I messed it up. And I also messed that up with the guy with the axe. I messed that up too. That came out looking really garbage. Like this whole page looks like trash. This is supposed to be a guy with an axe. It looks really bad. It's like all of this is supposed to be something ominous. It's just trash. Ah, there's our girl, Slitmouth Woman again. There she is. And that's it, guys. Slitmouth Woman for the end. The last page of my sketchbook. So this will be in both my Etsy and eBay stores. Anyone with a decent amount of money they want to part with, you're welcome to grab this. It is all original art. So go over there and check those out. Links are in the description. And this is my last sketchbook tour of 2022. This was my 5th sketchbook, and it was a lot of pages, but I did it because I just didn't want to leave it unfinished. So there it is, guys. So you take it easy. Nathan Brendan Masters. See you next year.
A life we knew would come one day, and this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn and never die, looking through the eyes of a brand new life. It's so